He's overcome a lot of things to be where he is. He grew up the same way that a lot of the kids in this particular school grew up.
He just has that knowledge of how to intercept, intercede, help this student that might be struggling.
Mr. Flores is one of those people that is very involved with his students, and he brings out the best in the students, and he wants the best for them.
Tony came from an environment that was conducive for gangs, Galena Park. It's about 15 minutes near Houston, downtown. It was a nice little city, but the environment wasn't conducive to having students do the right things for the most part.
At that age, it's a survival mode, and the weak person loses. You couldn't come off as a weak or timid person. You couldn't be someone who valued education if you wanted to have respect by a lot of the surrounding community. So I tried to create that image for myself. It got me in some problems.
He was at a fork in his life at that time. He didn't know which, you could see he was struggling, which way to go, and with a little bit of guidance from us, and him being as smart as he is, he chose the right path.
The struggles I went through helped me relate a lot to my students. I understand that their bad choices sometimes don't make them bad kids. They're upset and they have a right to be. My job is not to stop them from feeling that way, but give them outlets, ways to let those emotions out, ways to talk about it in a positive manner so that they can move on in their life.
Probably the word that comes to my mind first is tenaciousness. He's very tenacious. I think he works hard. He knows what he wants to do, gets it done.
He knows what it's like to be in that situation. He wants to provide hope and support for families and for kids to say, hey, you can do this. It's hard, and maybe you don't have all the advantages, but I can help you. We can give you the education that you need, and I can show you, that you can be anything that you want to be. He's just an example of that, and that's so important for our families and our kids to see that.
Every time we see the words, "this train," we're gonna clap. This train is bound for glory. This train. Ready? This train is bound for glory. This train. This train is bound for glory. This train. Talk like you're an old British woman. Like this, look. Piano.
Piano.
That's how I want you to sing. So, piano. Can you give me a little more space? That was...
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
ready? Again.
Piano.
Do you feel that you are able to sing louder when you open your mouth? The best part of teaching music is that I have all the school. And I get to have them from kindergarten to 5th grade. And I get to see them grow. I don't just see them grow as musicians, and I don't just see them grow in stature, but I see little kids come in here unable to speak, unable to make words, and then have deep conversations with them when they're 4th and 5th graders.
He works really hard at creating engaging lessons for students, but more important to him is the relationship that he builds with kids, and you can see that when you're in the classroom with him. Students really react positively to him. He gets a lot of high-level learning from them because he's built a relationship with each and every child.
I've seen him build confidence in kids that you would never even imagine that might come to his room and not be able to even talk or speak, openly in public, and then he could have them laughing and singing and just joyous by the time they leave his presence.
After being in Mr. Flores' class, I wasn't shy anymore. Whenever I sang, I was more confident, and he made me a better singer.
Preston has changed so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much he's improved in his actions and being able to control himself. And I think a lot of that is because he has a safe place to go. And with Emily, she used to be super, super shy. and now she is not at all.
When I first started teaching, my teaching philosophy was every child can be empowered. I think as I've taught, that's especially teaching here at Wiley Post, it's focused a little bit more on every student can be empowered out of every struggle.
He thinks up, ways to recognize kids that maybe we haven't thought of before, ways to serve families. So he's always kind of thinking of outside the box about those things, and then he's doing those things. And then he's terrific in the classroom. He works hard on his lessons. He keeps them engaging. The students are learning the curriculum that they need. And then he's an important piece in relationship building.
Every struggle that students go through, there is a light at the end of that tunnel. And I like to use my classroom and my interactions with the kids to show that light, to show them that hope.
With the food backpack program, sometimes we aren't aware of kids that have a need for food on the weekend, and when he's out in the communities, he kind of keeps us apprised of maybe kids that are needing some help and don't have food for the weekend.
It's sometimes, even for some of the apartments that I've entered, it's very easy to tell when there's limited resources in the house. But for a lot of these families, asking for help is a sign of weakness. And that's not something that they want the world to know about. So it's a really great way for also to us to continue building that trust, that we're not just about academics, and building that trust with the families, that it's about the whole being of the child. Even when they step out of this building, they're taking something from here that is going to keep them healthy. And that's a big deal. That's so important.
He is so good at loving the kids and loving his job and loving the staff, and he eats and breathes and sleeps music.
I'm grateful that he's chosen this line of work. He would excel at anything that he does, but the fact that he is here pouring back into these kids, it's amazing. He's a great teacher.
Big impacts. That's what you want in life as a teacher. You want to know that you made a difference. And Tony's doing that today.
And I want every teacher to believe, no matter how small your class is or how new you are to the profession or how many years you've been in it and you feel that you have nothing else to give. Every teacher has the opportunity to change a life. And even if it's one life changed, that's one life better for the world.